Good morning. So we shall start in continuity with the Delhi Sultanate. And yesterday we are talking about the Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq we have seen his many reforms. Religious reform, administrative reforms, welfare program. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq also lost a big territories. So by the time of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Sultanate was only confined to northern India. Firoz Shah Tughlaq had lost control. In fact, entire southern India had already become independent from the control of Sultanate. Entire southern India from the control of Sultanate during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So his cousin, elder brother Muhammad bin Tughlaq had already lost the entire southern India. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq only received a very small part of the Sultanate. During the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, two states of southern India, that is the state of Bahmani and the state of Vijayanagar had already become independent. This is the state of Bahmani. And this is the state of Vijayanagar. This is the state of Vijayanagar. This portion is called Krishna Tungabhadra Doab. Krishna Tungabhadra Doab. Krishna Tungabhadra Doab. So for control over Krishna Tungabhadra Doab, there was a continuous fight between Vijayanagar and Bahmani. there was a continuous fight between Vijayanagar and Bahmani. But Delhi Sultanate was already lost control. So Sultanate was only confined to this area. This is the area of Sultanate. This entire southern India became independent during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq, he already lost many parts of India under the control. After Firoz Shah Tughlaq in 1398, there was invasion of Amir Taimur. Invasion of Amir Taimur. Amir Taimur invaded over India in 1398. That ended the Tughlaq dynasty. That ended the Tughlaq dynasty. Taimur had a massive invasion. So that ended the Tughlaq dynasty. So Muhammad Shah Tughlaq was the ruler. Was the last Tughlaq dynasty. Amir Taimur, the king of Persia, invaded over Delhi in 1398. And Sultan Muhammad Shah Tughlaq had taken shelter in Gujarat. So this Gujarat and Jaunpur, the independent kingdoms of Jaunpur and Malwa and Gujarat were founded during his period in 1398. So Gujarat, Malwa and Jaunpur became independent during this period. The power of the Sultan was confined between Delhi to Palam. Power of Sultan was confined only to Delhi to Palam. Delhi to Palam means a very small area. Very small area. That comprising only a very small area. So power of the Sultan was only confined to Delhi to Palam. So after invasion of Amir Taimur, Tughlaq dynasty ended and beginning of Sayyid dynasty. Sayyid. Sayyid dynasty. It was established by Khizr Khan. Khizr Khan. He called himself Rayyat-e-Ala. Rayyat-e-Ala. He also did not take the title of Sultan. He also did not take this title of Sultan. Khizr Khan also did not take the title of Sultan. Rayyat-e-Ala means the Lord of Tenant or head of tenants. Head of tenants. That means he is not a king, he was not a sultan, but representative. Representative of Amir Taimur and his son Shahrukh. So representative Khizr Khan. So Khizr Khan, he take the title of Rayyat-e-Ala, is Sayyid dynasty. Sayyid claimed that they are representative of Prophet Muhammad. Sayyids, they claimed that they are representative of Prophet Muhammad. But they were placed on the throne by Amir Taimur. So they were actually representative of Taimur. They were actually representative of Taimur. So Khizr Khan, he also did not take the title of Sultan, rather he take the title Rayyat-e-Ala. Rather he take the title Rayyat-e-Ala. Khizr Khan. He take the title of Rayyat-e-Ala. This dynasty was founded by Khizr Khan. They claimed descendancy from Prophet Muhammad. One important fact you need to remember about the next ruler, Mubarak Shah Sayyid. So during the time of Mubarak Shah, there was a famous poet, Yahya bin Ahmad Sarhindi. Should I write it again a big? Yahya bin Ahmad Sarhindi. This is the name of the poet living in the time of Mubarak Shah, Yahya bin Ahmad Sarhindi. He wrote Tarikh-e Mubarak Shahi. Tarikh-e Mubarak Shahi. And Tarikh-e Mubarak Shahi is generally what? That is, the descendancy was founded by Khizr Khan. They claimed descendancy from Prophet Muhammad. Bahlol Lodi killed Alauddin Alam Shah, the last ruler, and then led to the foundation of Lodi dynasty. So in Sayyid we have only the three dynasties. In Lodi also we have only three dynasties, three rulers only. So Yahya bin Ahmad Sarhindi. He was deposed by Bahlul Lodi. So after Bahlul Lodi, the foundation of Lodi dynasty. Foundation of Lodi dynasty. So we have seen the timeline of all the dynasties of Sultanate. So foundation of Lodi dynasty, it was established by Bahlul Lodi. Lodis were Turco-Afghans. Lodis were Turco-Afghans. I told you that there are 63 to 64 tribes in Turk. So Lodis were Turco-Afghans. He called all his military commander Musnad-e Ali. He called his military commander Musnad-e Ali or Sardar. All military commanders were called Musnad-e Ali or Sardar. They were very high grade people. So all military commanders Musnad-e Ali or Sardar. Military commander or Sardar. It's called Musnad-e Ali. Military commanders. Lodi dynasty. Bahlul Lodi. Then comes Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi. He established the city of Agra. Sikandar Lodi. He established the city of Agra. City of Agra. He created a new measurement scale. Measurement scale means the land measurement scale known as Sikandari Gaj. Sikandari Gaj. Sikandari Gaj. New measurement scale launched by Sikandar Lodi. secondary gates. He also did market reform like Alauddin Khilji. He also did market reform like Alauddin Khilji on the line of the Alauddin Khilji. On the line of Alauddin Khilji. Market reform. That is also for the military purpose. For the military purpose. Also for the military purpose. Market reform. He also ordered demolition of temples. So his religious policy was a very fundamentalist and conservative. He also ordered demolition of temples. So his religious policy was very much fundamentalist and conservative. He was true successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq in religious policies. He was true successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq in religious policies. True successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq in religious policies. He also did market reforms like Alauddin Khilji, and he was true successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq in religious policies. Okay, so back after technical issues. So Sikandar Lodi, he also ordered the demolition of temples. So he was true successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. He was true successor of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. After Firoz Sikandar Lodi, we have Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi, during his time, Babur invaded over India. Babur. So after invasion of Babur, we will see detail in about the Babur. So after invasion of Babur, 1526, there was a battle of Panipat. Battle of Panipat. It was Babur versus Ibrahim Lodi, and that ended Sultanate and then establishment of Mughal. Establishment of Mughal. That ended Sultanate and establishment of Mughal. So Ibrahim Lodi. That ended Sultanate and then establishment of Mughal. Now come to the administration of Sultanate. Administration of Sultanate. Small issues are there. In fact, Sultanate state was a military state. Military state. The state of Sultanate was basically a military state. Sultan was assisted by 4 departments. In the background you can see Diwan-e-Wizarat. Diwan-e-Wizarat was basically revenue department. Diwan-e-Ariz, it was a military department. Diwan-e-Insa, it was a department of correspondence. And Diwan-e-Risalat, it was a cultural department. These are the 4 departments used by Sultanate. So Diwan-e-Wizarat, Diwan-e-Ariz, Diwan-e-Insa and Diwan-e-Risalat. So should I write in my own words? So there are 4 departments which is called pillar of the Sultanate. Pillar of Sultanate. First is Diwan-e-Wizarat. Diwan-e-Wizarat. It was a revenue department. Revenue department. Second, Diwan-e-Ariz. It was a military department. Diwane Rishalat. It was cultural department. Diwane Insa. It was Department of Correspondence. Department of Correspondence. So Diwane Wizarat, Diwane Arij, Diwane Risalat, Diwane Insa. It was Department of Correspondence. So these are the four departments Diwane Wizarat, Diwane Arij, Diwane Risalat and Diwane Insa. These are the four departments. Main departments of so Diwane Wizarat, Diwane Arij, Diwane Risalat, Diwane Arij or Diwane Araz and Diwane Insa. These are the four departments. Provincial administration. Provincial administration. The empire was divided into provinces and province was called Sarkar, which were governed by Naib and the Wali. Sarkar was divided into Sikh, ruled by Sikhdar. So there are many, and then Sarkar was divided into Sikh, and Sikh were further divided into groups of villages called Pargana, headed by Amil. Generally, a group of 84 or 100 villages constituted a Pargana. Chaurasi. Pargana is also called Chaurasi. So, Sarkar, Sikh and Pargana. These are the classification. Sarkar, Sikh and Pargana. So Sultanate was divided in Sarkar, then Sikh, and village. Sarkar, Sikh, Pargana and village. Sarkar means province. is district. Pargana is block, and village, the traditional block that comprised of 84 to 100 villages. 84 to 100 villages, so it is known as Chaurasi. Chaurasi. (84 to 100 villages), it is known as Chaurasi. So Sarkar, Sikh, Pargana, village. Sarkar is province. It was guided by Naib and Bali. Who is the head of Sarkar? Naib or Wali? Sikh was ruled by Sikdar. Pargana was headed by Amil. And village, the traditional headman, Khut, Mukaddam, and Chaudhary. Khut, Mukaddam, and Chaudhary. Khud, Mukaddam, and Chaudhary. So Sarkar, Sikh, Pargana, village, generally Pargana of 84 village or the 100 village, this is known as Chaurasi. And village was led by Khut, Mukaddam or Chaudhary. They were the headmen, village headmen. Pargana was led by Amil and Sikh was led by Sarkar, Sikdar, and Sarkar was led by Naib or Wali. So this is the division of the Sultanate in various administrative units. Division of Sultanate in various administrative units. Division of Sultanate in various administrative units. There were some terms related to the revenue administration. Terms related to revenue administration. Bigha. This is very popular in northern India. Unit of land. Bigha was always less than 1 acre. Unit of land. Bishwa. 1/20th of a bigha is called Bishwa. Bishwa is also Kathi. Bishwa is also Kathi. Hasil. Actual turnover or net crop with the person after expenses. Actual turnover or net crop with a person after expenses. Zamadani. Assessed revenue means how much revenue collection was there, the assessment of revenue. Assessment of revenue is called Jama. These are the terms you need to remember. Bigha means the unit of land less than 1 acre. Normally this is less than 1 acre. So unit of land less than 1 acre is called bigha. Okay, then we have Hasil. Actual crop turnover, net crop with a person after expenses. Zamadani is assessment of the revenue. Jama means assessment. Hasil means actually collected. The difference is Jama and Hasil is Jama means assessment and Hasil is actually collected. Kankut, crop estimation method introducing by Alauddin Khilji. So crop estimation method introduced by Alauddin Khilji. Bhuli, crop sharing method. Crop sharing method. Crop sharing methods. This is called Bhuli. So these are the terms related to agriculture. Department of Judiciary was called Qazi ul Qazat. Was headed by Sadr Sudur, Chief Justice. Qazi dealt with the civil cases while the criminal cases were dealt by Mufti, Miradi or Said. There were separate court for Hindus and Muslims. There were separate court for Hindus and Muslims. So Department of Judiciary was called Qazi ul Qazat. Qazi ul Qazat was headed by Sadr Sudur. Qazi dealt with the civil cases while the criminal cases were dealt by Mufti, Miradi and Said. There were separate court for Hindus and the Muslims. Separate court for Hindus and Muslims. This is the provincial administration of Alauddin Khilji. And some important terms related to agriculture. So few points are left up after demolition of temples. Okay, demolition of temples about Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi, he established the city of Agra. First fact. Second, he introduced a new measurement scale called Gaj-e-Sikandari, Sikandari Gaj. This is a second important fact. He introduced market reforms on the line of Alauddin Khilji, that is for the military purpose, and then demolition of temples. So he did demolition of temples. Demolition of temples. demolition of temples. Sikandar Lodi. So that is the last point that I have discussed about Sikandar Lodi. Then after Sikandar Lodi, it's Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi, during this time, Babur invaded over India. So Babur invaded over India, and then 1526 there was a battle of Panipat. This is the first battle of Panipat. And it ended Sultanate, and that led to the beginning of Mughal. It ended Sultanate, and that led to the beginning of Mughal. It ended Sultanate, and that led to the beginning of Mughal. So now then, after started the administration of Sultanate, I told you that it's a military state. It is a military state. And we have seen certain fact and figures about the military state. So this is entire picture about the Sultanate, provincial and the revenue related issues. Okay, fine. Then we are talking about Amir Khusro. He is a big name. Amir Khusro. Amir Khusro he was in the court of 8 sultans of Delhi. He was in the court of 8 sultans of Delhi. From Balban to Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Balban to Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He was in the patronage of 8 sultans of Delhi. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. So from Balban to Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was in the patronage of 8 sultans of Delhi. Sultans keep on coming, but Amir Khusro was there. He was court poet of Alauddin Khilji. Court poet of Alauddin Khilji. Court poet of Alauddin Khilji. He was in the court poet of Alauddin Khilji. Amir Khusro, he wrote many poetic books. Like Ashika, like Nuh Sifir, like Khazain ul Futuh, Khazain ul Futuh, like Tughlaqnama, These are the poetic compilation of Amir Khusro. So Asika, all the love stories of the time, popular folk songs like Laila Majnu, Siri Farhad, Mirza Sahiban, so many popular folk stories, Sohni Mahibal. So these are the popular folk love songs were very popular. So Asika, some of the popular folk songs compiled in Persian. All the books was in Persian. Folk songs. Nuh Sifir. The Nuh Sifir. The Nuh Sifir. This is a book in which Amir Khusro said that Al Firdaus Rubaru Jamino Asta Ami Asto Ami Asto Ami Asto. Perhaps something like that in Farsi. I can't speak Farsi so correctly. But if there is a heaven on earth, here only, here only, here only. अगर धरती पर स्वर्ग है, यही है, यही है, यही है. So that quotation was there in the Nuh Sifir, and that is actually expression from the that is related to the Kashmir. So Amir Khusro, Nuh Sifir. Government of India, the tourism ministry had also adopted this as a jingle to promote the tourism. Al Firdaus Rubaru Jamino Asto Ami Asto Ami Asto Ami Asto. So that it means if there is a heaven on earth, here only, here only, here only. This is a quotation of Amir Khusro. So he wrote many poetic compilation. Many poetic compilation. Amir Khusro invented sitar and tabla. Sitar and tabla. These two musical instruments was invented by Amir Khusro. Sitar and tabla. Amir Khusro, he invented two rag, Rag Ghora and Rag Shanam. Rag Ghora and Rag Shanam. Rag Ghora and Rag Sanam. Rag Ghora and Rag Shanam. Rag Ghora and Rag Shanam. It was invented by Amir Khusro. Rag Ghora and Rag Shanam. Amir Khusro, it is said that Amir Khusro had invented Urdu, that is mixture of Hindi plus Persian. Urdu. Amir Khusro also invented the Sufi song Qawwali. So Qawwali, which is a pure Sufi song invented by Amir Khusro. So there is a big contribution of Amir Khusro in understanding the Indian point of view. So he invented Qawwali. Amir Khusro, he invented Qawwali. It is Sufi song invented by sitar. Sitar and tabla, both the instrument. So this is all about the Sultanate. Now we have some regional dynasties, regional medieval kingdom. Some important like Kashmir. In medieval India, the Kashmir, the important regional state, Kashmir, it was ruled by the Shah Mirza dynasty. In medieval times, you can see the Shah Mirza dynasty was ruling over Kashmir. During the time of Sikandar Shah, for the first time, Hindus were outnumbered by the Muslims. Hindus were outnumbered by the Muslims. By the time of Sikandar Shah, Hindus were outnumbered by the Muslims. By the time of Sikandar Shah. Hindus were outnumbered by the Muslims. He founded a separate department, Sheikh-ul-Islam. He founded the separate departments, Sheikh-ul-Islam, to promote Islam and banned the custom of sati. To promote Islam and to ban the custom of sati. Custom of sati. Sheikh-ul-Islam was a department created by Sikandar Shah. So first time the Hindus now outnumber the Muslims now outnumber the Hindus. Then greatest ruler of the Kashmir, Zainul Abidin. Zainul Abidin, his popular actually name was Shahi Khan, who was popular as Akbar of Kashmir. He renovated Hindu temples, banned caused slaughter, allowed sati and got Mahabharat translated into Persian. Got Mahabharat translated into Persian. He appointed Srinara and Jonadev to continue the work of Raj Tarangani. He also constructed the Vular Lake and Jana Lake in Kashmir. He appointed Srinara and Jonadev and continued to work of Raj Tarangani. He also constructed the Vular Lake, which was artificial lake, and Zaina Lake in Kashmir. Janalanka in Kashmir is two artificial constructions made by Zainul Abidin. So this is a regional dynasty, a very important regional dynasty from where you have the questions. So Zainul Abidin was the greatest king of Kashmir. In medieval times, he was known as Akbar of Kashmir. Akbar of Kashmir. So I told you that during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, entire southern India became independent. During the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq in 1336. Vijayanagar Empire was established in 1336. Vijayanagar Empire was established by Harihar and Bukka. We will see the details. Harihar and Bukka. Harihar and Bukka. They were the founder of Vijayanagar Empire. 1347, Bahmani Empire was also established in Deccan by Hasan Gangu. So already entire southern India became independent from the control of Sultanate by the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq already had lost these two places. So these regional dynasties is also very important for examination point of view. So we will talk about the regional dynasties. We will talk about the regional dynasties. Vijayanagar Empire. There are four dynasties that ruled in the Vijayanagar Empire: Sangam, Salub, Tulub, and Arabidu. These are the four dynasties established in Vijayanagar Empire: Sangam, Salub, Tulub, and Arabidu. Look at the timeline. So it was founded by the instance of Swami Vidyaranya. I will tell you the story behind the establishment of, first you note down the time, ruling period of various dynasties that ruled the Vijayanagar Empire. Sangam dynasty, it ruled for a very long period, 1336 to 1485. The longest period of the ruling system, Sangam dynasty was the longest. Then we have the Salub dynasty, 1485 to 1505. Tulub dynasty, 1505 to 1570. Arabidu dynasty, 1570 to 1643. So the Sangam dynasty was the most glamorous and powerful dynasty. But Tulub dynasty, the Krishnadev Rai was the greatest ruler. You must be knowing Krishnadev Rai. He was the greatest ruler of the Tulub dynasty. In fact, he is the greatest ruler of the entire Vijayanagar Amrai. So 4 dynasties ruled. 1336 to 1565. 1336 to 1565. This is the period of Vijayanagar. So what is the history of the Sangam dynasty? The history of Sangam dynasty, look, very interesting. When Muhammad bin Tughlaq invaded over southern India, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a very powerful ruler. He invaded over India. So there was a state here, state of Kampili here, state of Kampili. So state of Kampili was in the target. It was in Karnataka. State of Kampili in Karnataka. 2 ministers of the state, Harihar and Bukka, they were captured by Muhammad bin Tughlaq and they returned back to, they brought them to Delhi. So Harihar and Bukka was brought to Delhi after capturing from Kampili. And they were converted to Islam. Converted to Islam. They were converted to Islam. Both the brothers were very intelligent and they win the support of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, confidence of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So both the brothers were very intelligent. They converted to Islam. They win the support of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, confidence of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So once there was a revolt in Kampili, the state of Kampili was revolted. So once there was a revolt in Kampili, then Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to send these 2 local boys to suppress the revolt. And this revolt was suppressed. But Harihar and Bukka, they decided not to return back to Delhi. They rebelled and they converted to Hinduism by famous priest Vidyaranya and then laid the foundation of Vijayanagar Empire at the bank of river Tungabhadra with the capital Hampi. So this is the story. So Harihar and Bukka converted to Islam. Both the brothers were sent back to Kampili to suppress the revolt. Local boys suppress the revolt. Both the brothers were sent to suppress the revolt, where they reconverted to Hinduism. Where they were reconverted to Hinduism and laid the foundation of laid the foundation of Vijayanagara Empire with the capital Hampi on the banks of the river Tungabhadra. On the banks of the river Tungabhadra. Sangam, Salub, Tulub, Arabido. So, Harihar and Bukka, they were the founder of the Vijayanagara Empire with the capital Hampi. With the help of Swami Vidyarandi, he converted to Hinduism and then laid the foundation of Vijayanagara Empire. Sangam dynasty. So there is very important fact about the Sangam dynasty. Look at the fact. Harihara and Bukka, they were living in Kampili. Kampili state was under the Barangal. So Kampili was the state under the Kakatiya. They had taken support from the Bir Ballal of the Hoysal dynasty as well. Bir Ballal of Hoysal dynasty as well. Harihar became the first ruler of the dynasty. Harihar became the first ruler of the dynasty. He laid the foundation of Vijayanagara Empire. Harihar, he was the first ruler of the dynasty. First ruler of the dynasty, Harihar. Bukka, Harihar and Bukka. First ruler of the dynasty, Harihar. Bukka, during the time of Bukka, Madurai, the state of Madurai was captured. The state of Madurai was captured during the time of Bukka. State of Madurai was captured. State of Madurai was captured. This campaign was described by Ganga Devi. Ganga Devi wrote a book, Madura Vijayam. Madura Vijayam. So Ganga Devi wrote a book, Madura Vijayam. Wrote a book, Madura Vijayam. Bukka. So Bukka captured Madurai Ganga Devi. Third ruler of the Sangam dynasty, we are talking about the rulers of the Sangam dynasty. This is the ruler of Sangam dynasty. Devrai first. Devrai first. Devrai first Devrai first. During his time, the war with Bahmani state had started. War with Bahmani state. During the time of Devrai first, war with Bahmani state had started. Bahmani state had started. War with Bahmani state had started. Conflict with Firoz Shah Bahmani. Conflict with Firoz Shah Bahmani. Firoz Shah Bahmani was the ruler of Bahmani at that time. So conflict with the Firoz Shah Bahmani. And Devrai first lost the Raichur Doab. Devrai first, he lost the Raichur Doab. This is the Doab, I told you. This is also known as Raichur Doab, Krishna Tungabhadra Doab. So Devrai first, he lost the Raichur Doab. The Krishna Tungabhadra Doab is called Raichur Doab. So Devrai first lost the Raichur Doab. That is Krishna Tungabhadra Doab. So Devrai first. War with Firoz Shah Bahmani. Another ruler of the Sangam dynasty was Devrai II. Devrai II. Devrai II. After Devrai first, the greatest ruler of the Sangam dynasty was Devrai II. Greatest ruler of the Sangam dynasty was Devrai II. He is also known as Imadi Devrai. There are so many names there in the inscription. Prod Devrai. Prod Devrai. And he had taken the title Gaj Betkara. Gaj Betkara. Elephant hunter. Elephant hunter. Gaj Betkara. Elephant hunter. Elephant hunter. Gaj Betkara. So Devrai second. First Vijayanagar king to conquer Ceylon. Ceylon means Sri Lanka. He employed Muslims to train the Vijayanagar cavalry. He also constructed a mosque for the Muslims at Hampi. So Devrai second. He invaded over Sri Lanka and captured Ceylon. He employed Muslims to train the Vijayanagar cavalry. The Muslims are very good in cavalry. He also constructed a mosque for the Muslims at Hampi. Devrai second. The greatest ruler of the Sangam dynasty. Constructed a mosque for Muslims at Hampi. Famous Italian traveler Niccolo Conti and Persian ambassador for India Abdur Razzaq visited Hampi during the time of Devrai II. This is very important point for the conflict with Bahmani state. Full-fledged war had started during the time of Devrai I. Full-fledged war had started during the time of Devrai I. Conflict was a very regular thing, but the first war was during the time of Devrai I. A famous Italian traveler Niccolo Conti and Persian ambassador Abdur Razzaq visited Hampi during the time of Devrai II. So Prod Devrai wrote the famous Mahanatak Shudha-nidhi, a text on music. Mahanatak Shudha-nidhi, a text on music. His literary assembly was called Mutyala Sala, the Palace of Pearls. The Palace of Pearls. Mutyala Sala, that is Palace of Pearls. That is a Palace of Pearls. So two greatest travelers, Niccolo Conti and Abdur Razzaq visited, and the Prod Devrai. Prod Devrai means Devrai II. Devrai II. So Devrai II is also known as Prod Devrai, and he wrote the famous Mahanatak Shudha-nidhi. Mahanatak Shudha-nidhi is a text on music, and there were many poets living in his court, known as Mutyala Sala, means that is called Palace of Pearls. All the genius people of the Vijayanagar Empire was staying there. So after Sangam dynasty, we have the Salub dynasty, established by Salub Narasimha. Only one fact you remember of Salub Narasimha, that during his time there was a famous Sant Annamacharya. He was a saint and a poet who wrote maximum number of kirtans in world literature, 14,000 kirtans compiled in 29 volumes. Annamacharya, he was a great Vaishnava Sant. Vaishnava Sant. And 1400 kirtans means the musical compilation of the poetry. So 1400 kirtans compiled in 29 volumes. These all related to the Vaishnava worship. Vaishnava worship. These all are related to Vaishnava worship. So it's called Annamacharya. Largest number of the volumes of anyone had written that. Largest number of volumes. Vaishnava Sant. Shalubh Narsimha. $14,000 kirtans. Sangam, Shalubh. Tulub dynasty. Tulub Narsa Nayak was the founder of Tulub dynasty. His son Sri Krishnadev Rai was the greatest monarch of Vijayanagar Empire and greatest in the whole history of the South India. So we will talk in detail about the Krishnadev Rai right now. So you should be ready for some of the important fact file of the Krishnadev Rai. Let's talk about the Krishnadev Rai and his works. So Tulub dynasty. Tulub dynasty. Tulub Narsa Nayak was the founder of this dynasty. Tulub Narsa Nayak was the founder of this dynasty. Was the founder of this dynasty. Narsa Nayak was the founder of this dynasty. And his son Krishnadev Rai was the greatest ruler of Vijayanagar Empire. Greatest ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, Krishnadev Rai. Krishnadev Rai, he defeated the ruler of Bijapur. Write down this fact, I will explain once again. So ruler of Bijapur, and thereafter he got the title Yavan Raj Asthapnacharya. यवन राज्य स्थापनाचार्य। रूलर ऑफ बीजापुर, यवन राज्य स्थापनाचार्य। रूलर ऑफ बीजापुर। And thereafter he placed his own supporter ruler, so this is called Yavan Raj Asthapnacharya. This is a big name, ruler of Bijapur. During his time, Portuguese already had a very strong presence. So Portuguese had already had a very strong presence in the west coast. Look, this is Raichur Doab, and this is a boundary. We have, this is a Vijayanagar. This is a Vijayanagar. And this is a Bahmani state. This is a Bahmani state. This is a Vijayanagar and this is a Bahmani state. Bahmani state. Okay, so ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, Krishnadev Rai. Krishnadev Rai. And governor of Portuguese, Albuquerque. Had concluded a treaty. Both had concluded the treaty. Albuquerque and Vijayanagar ruler Krishnadev Rai. Under this treaty, Vijayanagar will help Portuguese in expansion towards Bijapur, Bahmani state, and Portuguese will sell all the horses to Vijayanagar Empire. This is the treaty concluded. So 1510, this treaty was concluded. 1510, this treaty was concluded between Albuquerque and Krishnadev Rai. Albuquerque and Krishnadev Rai. This treaty was concluded. According to this treaty, first point, 1510, this treaty was concluded. First point. There are 2 points in the treaty. First point, that Krishnadev Rai will help Portuguese in expansion towards Bijapur. In expansion towards Bijapur. Krishnadev Rai will help Portuguese in expansion towards Bijapur. In return, second point, Portuguese will sell all the horses to Vijayanagar Empire. Portuguese will sell all the horses to Vijayanagar Empire. So Portuguese will sell all the horses to Vijayanagar Empire, and in return Krishnadev Rai will help Portuguese in expansion towards Bijapur. This is settlement made between the Krishnadev Rai and Portuguese. So obviously horse supply means the firepower of the Vijayanagar Empire will increase. The cavalry of the Vijayanagar Empire will increase. Firepower of Vijayanagar Empire will increase. Albuquerque. After Krishnadev Rai, the Vijayanagar Empire was disintegrated. Vijayanagar Empire was disintegrated because the son of Krishnadev Rai, Sadasiv Rai, he was very incompetent, or he was a kid. So Ram Rai was the regent. So Ram Rai was the main de facto ruler, regent, because Sadasiv Rai was minor. So Ram Rai was de facto ruler. Sadasiv Rai was minor. Sadasiv Rai was minor. Okay. So he was a de facto ruler. De facto. He was involved in internal conflict among the Bahmani states. Internal conflict. There were various units of the Bahmani state, so he was involved in internal conflict. Therefore, he was involved in internal conflicts. So therefore, 1565, all the rulers of Bahmani state, all the units of Bahmani state, Bijapur, Golconda, Berar, Bidar, all the units of Bahmani state, Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Bidar, combinedly these four, Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Bidar, combinedly these four invaded over Vijayanagar Empire. all the units of Bahmani state combinedly invaded over Vijayanagar Empire. Invaded over Vijayanagar Empire. So this is known as Battle of Talikota. This is known as Battle of Talikota or Rakshasi Tangri in 1565. Battle of Talikota or Rakshasi Tangri in 1565. Battle of Talikota and Rakshasi Tangri in 1565. And after this battle, Vijayanagar Empire almost demolished. And only a small portion of the empire was left. A small portion of the empire was left. After Battle of Talikota or Rakshasi Tangri, only a small portion of the empire was left. Only a small portion of the empire was left. And that led to the establishment of Arabidu dynasty. Arabidu dynasty. Arabidu dynasty. The capital of this Arabidu dynasty was Penugonda. Capital of this Arabidu dynasty was Penugonda. Capital of this dynasty was Penugonda. Okay, so this is the last of the series of the Vijayanagar Empire. So 4 dynasties that ruled Vijayanagar Empire. Now come to the administration of Vijayanagar Empire. You have to write administration. There are some important facts. Administration of Vijayanagar Empire. The state was based on divine monarchy. It was highly centralized state. Centralized state. Based on divine monarchy, and it was highly centralized state. There was a state secretariat. I have to make it bigger, light it bigger. So there was a state secretariat known as Raisham. This is the main ministry, state secretariat. Raisham. Main ministry, Raisham. This secretariat was led by Mahanayakacharya. Mahanayakacharya. Raisham was a secretariat and Mahanayakacharya was the head of secretariat. He was the chief of, you can say he is a chief secretary, and this is a secretariat. So entire central administration was guided from here, Raisham. And king was of course the head of the state, and here Mahanayakacharya, the chief secretary. So entire masonry of the state was guided from here. Mahanayakacharya was chief secretary. Most of the divisions of the empire, there was Nayak system in Vijayanagara Empire. Nayak system in Vijayanagara Empire. Who are the Nayak? Nayak are the military commander. Nayak was military commander. Military commander. Nayak are the military commander. Those Nayak who received land, known as Amram. For the services of the state, those Nayak who received land for the services of the state, Amram land, they were called Amar Nayak. Amar Nayak. Those Nayak who received Amram land for the services of the state, they were known as Amar Nayak. They were known as Amar Nayak. So Amram land is equivalent to Ikta system of Delhi Sultanate. Ikta system of Delhi Sultanate. Like the way Ikta system was, Ikta was granted to the people. Ikta was granted to the people, military commanders in Delhi Sultanate. Similarly, Amram land was granted to Amar Nayak. So Amram land was granted to Amar Nayak. So Ikta system was in Delhi Sultanate and Amar Nayak system, Amram system is in Vijayanagara Empire. Initially, Amar Nayak were transferred, but later on it became hereditary. Initially, Amar Nayak was transferred, their land was transferred, but later on became hereditary. So when Amar Nayak became hereditary, that ultimately resulted in decline of Vijayanagar Empire. It also played a major factor in the decline of Vijayanagar Empire. So, hereditary Amar Nayak system. So, those Nayak who got land, Amram land, for the services, they were called Amar Nayak, like that in the Ikta system of Delhi Sultanate. Nayak system. Iyengar system. Iyengar system was system of village administration. Village administration. Village was administered by 12 elected representatives from the village. 12 elected representative from the village known as Iyengar. So Iyengars are the 12 elected representative from the village. 12 elected representative from the village. They got different works in villages, like supply of oil in the temple, supply of oil in the temple, like road construction, maintenance of water reservoir, village judicial system, village judicial system. So this is work of the 12 Iyengars. Work of the 12 Iyengars. So village judicial system. 12 elected representatives. These elected representatives, they did not get salary. They did not get salary, but land for the services. Land for the services. Did not get the salary, but land for the services. Land for the services. So they served till then, they had a land for the services. Village administration. This is called Iyengar system. These Iyengars, they got the land. This land was called Mirasi. Mirasi land. So what is Mirasi land? The land given to the Iyengars for the services in the village. It was called Mirasi land. Some other officers, like land revenue department was called Atban. What is Atban? Land revenue department. Atban. Atban was called land revenue department. Land revenue department. Atvan was, the head of the Atvan was Mahakarnika. Mahakarnika. Head of that one was Mahakarnika. Mahakarnik. This is the head. Mahakarnik. This is the head. Kandachera was the military department. Kandachera was a military department. So these two are the important department. Mahakarnik was the most important. The financial department was called Atvan, headed by Mahakarnik. Bhandarbada. This is the royal land directly under the command of king. Bhandarbada is a royal land directly under the command of king. Directly under the command of king. Directly under the command of king. So we will take a break and then we'll see you sharply at 2 p.m. We'll continue with Bahmani Empire and then subsequently all the original things, and then we'll move to the Mughal Empire then. The Mughal Empire will be very interesting for you people. Till then, take a break.